2 years ago, the city discovered an East Austin home with tunnels that the owner had dug underneath it. And they took over the home they said was a danger and filled those tunnels with concrete.
Now that owner is suing the city for all of it. KXAN's Chris Sadeghi spoke with him today and also got a look inside the home. He's live there with more. Chris?
Well, this home has been in Joe Del Rio's family for decades. That's why he wants to keep it. However, after the city came in, did all the work, stripped it of the utilities, it's no longer livable. They also billed all the work to Del Rio, and he says that was the final straw.
The police lied to me. They took me out of my house.
2 years ago, Joe Del Rio was taken out of his home because of what lies beneath it. But the only reason anyone knew is because he let them look.
I let them go in there. I have nothing to hide, you know. I know I'm not a terrorist.
Responding to neighbor complaints, police officers led him away in handcuffs after code compliance found what they called a bunker. And ever since, Joe's been trying to get back what has long belonged to his family.
Right here was the entrance to going under the house.
Del Rio showed us around and says he wasn't hiding anything. This hole wasn't dangerous, and it isn't a bunker.
I don't have a bunker. It was a fallout shelter. You could see where I replaced it. This is cast iron pipe.
A licensed plumber, Del Rio knows home improvement and said the shelter was carefully constructed and his home was in no danger of falling down.
What I'd done there had been over 30 years. And it withstood flood and streets and all that stuff.
But his home was fenced off and he didn't get the keys back until a year later. By then, the utilities had been gutted, his shelter filled with concrete. His home was unlivable. To top it all off, just last month, the city billed him for $90,000, charging him for all their work. Joe finally had enough.
Now that I got the bill, you know, we said, well, maybe it's time for a lawsuit.
The lawsuit says the city seized the property without proper notice and declared it unfit living conditions, despite Del Rio's family living there for decades. Del Rio wants them to pay to make the home livable again, and if that's not possible, he at the very least wants it to keep standing.
This was my parents' house, and I do want to keep it.
And right now, this whole house is locked up tight. The reason why, back when it was under city watch, Del Rio says his home was burglarized. Now, neighbors told us 2 years ago there were rumors about explosives and guns inside. Del Rio says those were just keepsakes from his military career. We called the city, and they said they do not normally comment on pending litigation. We're live in East Austin. Chris Sadeghi, KXAN News.